Hi, and welcome to episode number 12 of Get Involved Pittsburgh here on PCTV 21 and 47. My name's Tom Baker, and I'm your host for the show. Hope that you enjoy watching our Jefferson Award-winning Get Involved Pittsburgh television program here on PCTV 21. Been doing it for a couple years now. Always enjoy doing the show, and we've got a great slate of guests here for episode number 12. We're focusing on the idea of being empowered in Pittsburgh. We've got one of the co-authors of the book, Empowered in Pittsburgh, that's going to be with us here in just a minute or two, Ashley Boyne-Schuck. We also have Tim Lessick, Jada Shiriel from Every Child. We've got Bridget Kennedy from Bidwell Training Center, and Maggie Graham from ELDI. So we've got a great slate here for you in episode number 12. Empowered in Pittsburgh. It's a concept, it's an idea, and hopefully it's a movement. My wife and I, Erin, we came here in 2003 to go to graduate school. Our plan was to live in Pittsburgh for 2 years and just go back to the suburbs of Philly, go to Harrisburg, go to somewhere else, and kind of start our young professional lives there after graduate school. But we got involved in the city. We got empowered in Pittsburgh, started joining organizations, getting on committees, being mentors, serving in a lot of leadership roles here, doing leadership programs. It's really that kept us here in Pittsburgh, that helped us get empowered in Pittsburgh. So that's an important thing that I want you to think about at home. How can you become more empowered in Pittsburgh? What organizations, what committees, what groups, what causes need you to get involved and support them here in our city, in our regions? We're back here on episode number 12 of Get Involved Pittsburgh. Our second guest on this episode is Maggie Graham from ELDI. One of my favorite up-and-coming rising stars, I think, here in the community. Maggie, I'm building you up big time, but welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So very glad that you're staying in Pittsburgh. I know you just recently landed to stay with ELDI. Yeah. You were placed there through the Pulse program, I believe?
Yes.
Tell us, for everyone watching at home, what is the Pulse program?
Sure. Pulse is the Pittsburgh Urban Leadership Service Experience, and it is a voluntary service program for talented young graduates a couple years out of school. And then you get placed in a nonprofit for 35 hours a week and do 4 hours of professional and personal development. And there's also an element of community living because you live together in a house and share everything.
Oh, so it's like the real world, but for good reasons.
Exactly. Okay. It's like the real world nonprofits.
I like that. It's very nice. Ashley had all those good combos. You have some good combos of things too. That's great.
Yeah.
Founded by one of the, I think, the best, most dynamic speakers here in the region, John Stallworth.
Sure, yeah.
Right, and did he start the program?
Yes, he started the program. Pulse is in its 17th year now, in 2012, so we've been around for a long time. We started with a few participants, and now we have 2 houses, so we have 8 in one house and 4 in another. That's great. In East Liberty and Garfield.
Great. I know at our 3rd annual Get Involved Service Summit, actually, you were named one of the rising stars, a former Pulse alum. Kate Stoltzfus was my co-host, Mrs. Yinspiration herself, and John Stallworth was the keynote. So we had a lot of Pulse love at that event. It was very good. So tell us a little bit about ELDI. I mean, I think people have heard maybe ELDI, but they don't know what it stands for. What do those initials mean? East
Liberty Development is the 501c3 nonprofit for the East Liberty neighborhood. Okay. So we are a community-based organization that does 4 things for East Liberty. We plan, advocate, facilitate, and invest in East Liberty. Okay. And then the development comes afterwards, the bricks and mortar that everyone sees, that comes after. Okay, and just as somebody who works every day in East Liberty at Big Brothers Big Sisters, I'm very happy with how things are going. I mean, it's such kind of a booming community now. When I think to going to middle school there 15, 20 years ago at Reisenstein, which became Obama, which I guess is now getting sold off to become, I mean, it was different in East Liberty. But what do you think has changed in East Liberty in the last few years, or maybe in the last decade? Just in the time that I've been there, I've seen a lot. I moved to the city in 2010, and I've seen a huge influx of the different kinds of people coming into East Liberty, especially now that we have Target. We have a lot of college students.
Absolutely. And I like working by Target. That's nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice, but it's also dangerous if you're there. If you're as close as my office is to Target, it can be a little dangerous.
Okay.
But, I think the best thing is just feeling the community support, because everything we do is based off of our community plan, which was the result of years of meetings, 63 different meetings where all of our stakeholders came together. So it's really exciting to see things that are in the community plan happen and see the community support that comes out of it.
That's great. And what do you do at ELDI? What's your role there?
Sure. I'm the communications coordinator, so I coordinate all of our social media, hard copy newsletters, annual report. I tweet. Yeah. Social media, so I tweet, Facebook.
We got some good tweeters on the
Instagram.
Show today. You and Ashley.
It's social media day, apparently. Instagram, Pinterest. I write a blog, send out a newsletter. Keep everyone informed about what's happening in their neighborhood and answer questions, too.
Out of curiosity, and I hear this more and more, I was at an event at UPMC conference a couple weeks ago, and they had just hired their first full-time social media person who was then hiring a staff. What do you see for a business or a nonprofit, why does there need to be somebody that focuses on social media?
That's a great question, because people are going to talk about you whether you're there or not.
That's true.
People are going to talk about your brand or your nonprofit or you as a person, whether you're on there or not. And that way I get to answer questions. Sometimes people are confused about what is in each neighborhood and the kind of development that's happening there, and I can clear it up easily. And I can also just answer questions about, like, is there a braiding salon in East Liberty? Sure, there's one on Baum, and then there are a couple different stores on Penn Avenue as well. And while you're there, why don't you check out David's Shoes and go to Mogier, and then you can stop at Target. So
Right.
it allows me to promote the whole neighborhood at once.
That's good. One of my favorite places in East Liberty, honestly, is Shadow Lounge. We have a lot of our events there for Big
Definitely.
Brothers, Big Sisters. We have a lot of our Get Involved events there, Power Hour.
yeah.
I mean, do you see that kind of as a central part of East Liberty? Is that
Absolutely. Justin was one of the first people to move into East Liberty and really
Right.
believe in the area, and he's a stronghold between Shadow and Ava.
Right.
People go there all the time. I was just there yesterday for a Propel event.
Oh, right,
So-
right, absolutely. The women business
Yes.
organization. That's great. And even Ame Alaquiva is around there too with your mom's
Right.
house. And
He's right upstairs, right
yeah.
above, and he
winning
got
Emmys and stuff.
winning
Yeah.
Emmys,
Yeah.
and he got started in Shadow. So
yeah.
we can thank Shadow
Justin,
for.
yeah. Yeah. Do
for
you know
all
where
that.
Justin Strong went to high school?
He went to high school with you at
Right,
Taylor.
Alderdice
right?
High School, very proud. I was class of 97, he was 96, very good.
Nice.
So tell us about the future of ELDI. What kind of projects are you guys working on?
Sure.
What are some of your focus
Our,
areas?
our biggest focus right now is circulation and mobility. Our neighborhood said in the community plan that came out in 2010 that we want to make sure that we can get around safely, whether that's by car, by bike, transit, walking, all of it. So we actually just finished a circulation and mobility vision for the neighborhood where we had community stakeholders and Pittsburgh experts come together to talk about the kinds of visions and goals that they have for what transportation and mobility can be in East Liberty.
Right.
So we're going to be working off of that plan.
A lot of
in the
good things
future.
out there about East Liberty, for sure. Probably some
Definitely.
misconceptions, too, though. What do you think are some misconceptions? Maybe people think, East Liberty's this, East Liberty's that. What are some things that you would want people to know
Sure.
that are not true, I guess, about East Liberty?
Sure. The two biggest misconceptions, I think, the first is that we are not a safe community. East Liberty was a different place in the 1990s
sure.
as far as safety as it is now, and we have great community support. We also have support from our Zone 5 police officers. I actually spoke to two of our bicycle police officers today. They are around all the time, and the neighborhood's a lot safer than it used to be. It's definitely continuing to improve as well. And then I think the other misconception is that we're trying to change the neighborhood at all, change the neighborhood into a different. I like to use the word flavor. Each neighborhood in Pittsburgh has a certain flavor, and we don't want to change that. We want to make it safer. We want to make sure that there are stores that everyone can shop in, but we don't want to make it Shady Side 2.0
Right.
or change it into any other neighborhood other than East Liberty. We want to keep our flavor and what we are
great.
at our core.
So for people watching that want to learn more about ELDI, want to kind of tweet with you, Instagram with
Sure.
you, maybe if you could share
Sure.
with the audience how they can keep in touch, website, all that kind of good stuff.
Great. Our website is www.eastliberty.org, and then you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram at East Liberty PGH.
And have you Instagrammed yet?
I do love Instagram.
Instagram's pretty fun. Okay,
Yeah,
well, you can play
Instagram
it
is
for
great.
Manny sandwiching with you. Yeah.
Actually, Instagram came from two guys at Deep Local, which is currently in East Liberty for another couple
Nice.
weeks.
Very
Yeah.
good. Okay, cool. Well, Maggie, thanks for coming on the
Thank
show
you,
today.
Tom.
Congrats, and glad that you're staying with ELDI, staying in the
too.
city. That's great. So
Thank you.
Thanks, Maggie Graham. That was Maggie Graham from ELDI. Our next guest is going to be Jada Sherrill from Every Child Inc., formerly of the United Way fame, and she'll be here in just a minute to talk a little bit about what's going on with Every Child. We'll be back in just a second.